original 13th colony, spreading truth, slaying lies, a one-man gang in a war to restore freedom and liberty. Dan Bidondi.
All right, welcome to the Dan Bidondi Show, May 7th, 2019 edition of Dan Bidondi Show right here at 990WBOB.com. And we got a special show today all about the Second Amendment, all related to the Second Amendment because as everybody could now guess, I mean, you don't even have to be anybody in the media to even know what's going on. There's a huge war for the Second Amendment. There's both sides going at it, and it's getting ugly. It's going to get ugly. And I'm telling you right now, people better arm up. People better prepare for what's to come down the curtain because there's going to be totally vicious stuff that's going on. And the whole brink of American history is all going to depend on this. Everything that this country stood for, stands for, was created on by the people and everything, all that's on the line. Especially with this presidential election coming up. I mean, it's going to be ugly because the Second Amendment is the hottest topic, the hottest debate for this presidential race. You got this moron, Cory Booker, that is relentlessly attacking the Second Amendment. I mean, I'm an independent constitutionalist, and I side with any party if you support the Constitution. I mean, you know, for years, everybody knows I attacked the Bushes, you know, the Republican Party for years. I attacked the Clintons, I attacked the Obamas and everything else, and, you know, especially that witch Hillary Clinton. So, I'm not a biased person, but unfortunately, it's the left right now. It's the left right now that's attacking the Second Amendment. And I'm not saying all Democrats are like that, because here in Rhode Island we got a lot of Democrats, a lot of liberals that do love the Second Amendment. So I can't say, when the thing is, this is not a right-wing thing, okay? It's not a left-wing thing, it's a people thing, and people need to keep understanding this, okay? You need to keep putting this into the minds and hearts of people, that they need to understand this is not about political parties, because that's what the media loves to make it about. And the thing is, it makes Democrats who love the Second Amendment, it makes them feel obsolete. It makes them feel unwanted by their own people, which shouldn't be the case. You know what I mean? The Second Amendment's for everyone, okay? That needs to be relentlessly put into the hearts and minds of people all across this country. And I hate when people just limit themselves. They limit the argument, right versus left. You know, the damn liberals, the damn conservatives. You know, get out of that mindset. Because our country, our history is on the line right now. So why are you people on both sides of the parties arguing with each other? All right, our country's going to hell, plain and simple. And unfortunately, right now, yes, the left right now, the heavy left, the far left, I should say, is attacking the Second Amendment. So it's a big, big topic and debate going on here for the presidential race. And we, here in Rhode Island, we've been taking headlines by storm. I mean, the media is trying to bend void in us like the plague, but the alternative media has been kicking in and covering what's going on here in Rhode Island. So I hope to reach people out throughout the country and inspire people throughout the country, because what we have been doing here for the Second Amendment has been reaching people all over the country. When we're flooding the State House by the thousands, and it just inspires people from other states to do the same thing. You got a bunch of people in Maryland, I'm going to bring that up a little later, that did the same thing, to boldly say, hey, we're not going to comply or follow any unconstitutional gun laws. And speaking of this, okay, there's a thing called sanctuary for gun owners, Second Amendment sanctuary for gun owners, or where we here in Rhode Island took charge because we're sick of our governor. And the best, nicest word I could come up for this witch is a tyrant. That's me being nice. She's a complete tyrant, okay? And again, that's me being nice. I like to call her other things, but you know what? I got to keep this clean because I don't call anybody this stuff, but she takes the cake when it comes to tyranny. She's the new King George. That's exactly who she is. She's doing the same damn thing they did over 200 years ago. Taxation without representation, attacking your religious freedom, and attacking your gun rights. The same thing that happened over 200 years ago right here in Rhode Island. And sanctuary means, okay, here in Rhode Island, it's called We the People of Rhode Island for Sanctuary, Second Amendment Sanctuary. It's joined with many gun groups. The Rhode Island Second Amendment Coalition, Rhode Island Pistol and Revolvers Association. There's a ton of groups here in Rhode Island. My group, Rhode Island Second Amendment Defenders Task Force, I named that after the governor's, her dumb anti-gun task force. So we got tons of groups, dozens of them, that are all joining forces to take the governor, basically take her out politically, because she's out of control. She has completely destroyed the state, and we've been on the show for a while talking about all her economic disasters in the state, where she was putting up tolls and everything else. She is relentlessly attacking our Second Amendment. And thank God we have been flooding the State House, stopping these gun control bills, and, basically, because most of the Senate, unfortunately, most of the House are gun control supporters. So by us flooding the State House, it sends a message to them, say, listen, you do that again, you push gun control, we're going to vote your asses out, or we're going to go to war, either one. I mean, you take your choice. You know what I mean? You comply by the Constitution, or we're going to war. That's the message that needs to be sent to every legislator across this nation. I don't care if it's the president, I don't care if it's congressmen, senators, your own police chiefs, okay? Every citizen of this country needs to send that direct message to that authoritarian people in their states. You attack the Second Amendment, we're going to come after you. I mean, we're going to defend it. And people say, oh, you're sounding vicious now. Well, you know what? My Constitution says I have a right to say that. My Constitution gives me the authority and duty to defend it. So don't sit there and turn it around me to try to say I'm the bad guy, I'm the extremist because I'm defending our civil liberties. So do you want to end up like Venezuela, which we're going to get into later with MSNBC, just putting their own foot in their mouth? I love it. I love how they just put their own foot in their mouth. They constantly preach for gun control. Then they end up saying, something to this like that. It's because the citizens don't have guns to defend themselves. That's why the military is running them over and shooting them, because they don't have nothing to defend themselves. Putting their own foot in their mouth. I mean, I love it. It really is. It's funny. And we're going to cover that and everything. So I just want to let everybody know, too, I became an official contributor for beforeitsnews.com. Again, beforeitsnews.com. I'm an official contributor for their website. I share my videos, write articles, and yes, I'm getting better with my grammar. I suck with grammar and everything. Thank God for spell check and everything. So I've been writing a series of articles with videos in it for them, so the country can see what's going on. They get hundreds of thousands of hits a day, and they're getting bigger and better. They got tons of people who contribute for this awesome website. It's looking good. So basically, we've been sharing what's going on here in Rhode Island. So if anybody's left in the dark, okay, Wednesday, April 24th, 2019 here, town councilmen officially declared that their own town in Burrillville, Rhode Island became the very first Second Amendment sanctuary. And what does that mean? What does Second Amendment sanctuary mean? It means that, hey, if the governor or a federal government imposes gun laws that they deem that violate the Constitution, they're not going to enforce them, or they're not going to allow the state or federal government to enforce them. It's basically taking a bold stand for liberty in the Constitution. That's what it's about. So this spread like wildfire. It really did. So you had a series of towns and cities already trying to adopt this, talking about adopting it there. Councilmen and everything else from different cities all interested in this deal. So it spread like wildfire. And just yesterday, where I was at, Hopkinton, Rhode Island, the city was named after Stephen Hopkins, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He was a former governor as well. He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and the guy went through hell. I mean, if you read any history about the Founding Fathers, the people especially signed the Declaration of Independence, most of them lost their families. They were killed and everything else, and the men were in prison. They were given ultimatums. Say, hey, listen, if you withdraw your signature from that document, we'll leave you alone. We'll let you out and go live with your family, whatever. Nope. They said no, because they knew the importance. They knew what the importance was at stake for liberty and freedom. So they sacrificed their own well-being, their own unselfish needs, their own needs for this country. You know what I mean? And they knew it was at stake. They knew what was going to happen to them, and they did it anyway. Because they knew liberty is more important, bigger than they were, bigger than their families, bigger than their wants and needs. Unselfishly, they gave their lives so this country could, eventually lead up to the Constitution for the United States of America. One of the greatest documents ever created in the history of mankind, aside from the Ten Commandments. And that's my views here. So I've been writing for BeforeIt'sNews.com, reporting on this, and my YouTube channel, Truth Radio Show, has been, I've been putting all the videos up there and on Facebook and everything else. And right now I'm still on Facebook. I mean, they have been attacking all conservatives. I'm not conservative, but they've been attacking all conservatives and everything else, like Alex Jones, just constantly taking these people off the air on Facebook and all the social media networks. But we're going to go to a break here. Before we go to break, I want to remind everybody, this Saturday, May 18th, there's a radiothon right here on 990WBOB.com. It's a memorial to he's been like my brother, David Wildside Clyde. He hosted the Wildside with David Clyde here at 990WBOB.com. He was a victim to cancer. So right now we're fighting back against cancer. We're having a huge radiothon, a bunch of events going on. Visit the page, 990WBOB.com, for all the details. But we do got to go to break to pay some bills here, like Dave used to say. And we'll be right back on the Dan Bidondi Show. So once again, history is going to repeat itself. Rhode Island was the leaders of the revolution back then, and it's looking like that's this time here. But I want to make a correction before I went to the break. I talked about the radiothon. It's not this weekend. It's the next weekend, May 18th. I got my dates all mixed up. But the following weekend, Saturday, May 18th, is a radiothon dedicated to the Wild Side with David Clyde. All day long, they got all kinds of events going on, all kinds of shows and everything for a whole radiothon. But for details, they have different things going on. So go to WBOB.com, 990WBOB.com, which is the page you're on now. Just open another click there, another webpage, and visit the page for information and details. So, like I said, before we went to the break, we talked about the town of Hopkinton, Rhode Island. So it became, yesterday I was there, it became the second Amendment sanctuary town here in the state of Rhode Island. And I was voted in 3-2, and even the people that voted it in, didn't vote it in, one of the women, she wanted to, but she still wanted to keep the red flag bill, which red flag is very dangerous. It just attacks the 4th Amendment and the 14th Amendment. Due process and everything else is disgusting. So, which we're trying to make a move to get rid of the red flag bill altogether. And yes, we all can agree, gun owners alike, we all can agree that maniacs, people who are mentally deranged, and criminals should not have guns. Absolutely agree, but you do not, over a phone call, say, hey, just because you're pissed off at your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your neighbor, just say, hey, I feel dangerous, unsafe around that person, and they got guns. So the cops come, they SWAT your house, take your guns, and more than likely going to shoot you, because that's what's been going on all over the country. Take your guns, and you got to battle them in court for 6 years or whatever it is, and to get your guns back, hopefully. It's disgusting. It's just a backdoor to violate your Second Amendment. This needs to be stopped. And President Trump, he gets back, and I hope he attacks this red flag thing or revamps it. You need reasonable cause like the Constitution. And the thing is, we already have laws for that. We don't need a red flag law to say, hey, we're going to come violate your constitutional rights just by hearsay. We already have laws. If I was to go threaten somebody with my gun right now, by law, not even a red flag, I would be arrested for it, and rightfully so. Unless that person threatened my life. But anyway, this is disgusting, this whole red flag thing. And Hopkinton, Rhode Island became the Second Amendment sanctuary, and we're moving on to Richmond, which Richmond tonight, there was a meeting tonight. I was going to have a couple of the guys call, and I was supposed to go, but I had the show here. It got postponed because the Nazi Moms Demand Action showed up, about 6 or 7 of them, causing a big stink. So, and it's close to Connecticut, so that's Richmond, Rhode Island's at the southern border here in Rhode Island. And you got all the liberals from Connecticut rushing in. Oh, no, you can't have a sanctuary city. You can't honor the Constitution. And Governor Raimondo here in Rhode Island, she has the nerve to say, oh, if they want gun rights, they should go lobby at the State House. Well, hello, we have been doing that. I don't know if she realizes 4,000 people showing up at the State House in yellow shirts. I got one on right here for the people on the video edition later on YouTube and everything. This is a We the People Rhode Island Second Amendment Sanctuary T-shirt, and it's like the Rhode Island Second Amendment Coalition T-shirts. But thousands of us flood the State House, and she doesn't notice that. She does notice that. That's the thing. And that's her excuse to say, oh, we don't want that. But it's okay for her and that dirtbag Jorge Alorza, the mayor of Providence, to make Providence a sanctuary city for illegals. So it's okay for them to violate federal law and the constitutional laws about immigration and everything else. It's okay for them to do that. But for us, we want to exercise the Second Amendment, the constitutional rights. We can't do that. We're bad guys, but it's okay for them to violate the law. I don't think so. So towns are stepping up. You got many towns talking about it. As we said tonight, Richmond. Then you got West Greenwich. I believe that's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Then you got Forster, which is May 9th at 7 o'clock. Then May 16th, 7:30 p.m. at the Gloucester Town Hall there. So, and then we got a lot of events coming up, and also Coventry's in the midst of working that out, and we're trying to get Cranston to do the same. So it's going to be a fight, it really is. And if we get at least half the state, we're going to have even in one city, like just the fact that we got Burrillville and Hopkinton is a huge, huge victory. People need to understand that. It's a huge victory on its own, because it's sending a direct message to our tyrant governor, King George III, whatever we call her, King George Jr., okay, hey, we're not going to comply with your tyrannical crap. People have had enough here in Rhode Island. They have. And like I said earlier, Rhode Island led the revolution when people were just sick and tired of what the British were doing. Now, one of the councilwomen, Hopkinton last night, she was saying, oh, it's just a feel-good thing. It doesn't mean nothing, a resolution. So I wasn't going to speak. So I got up to speak, and I told her to listen. And I want to say this to everybody else who thinks this is just a feel-good thing. It doesn't matter. A resolution does matter. Okay, a resolution was created right here in Rhode Island. Okay, Roger Williams said, hey, under this resolution, you can come here to be Christians and Puritans. You don't have to allow the British to jam the Church of England down your throats. You could come here instead of being overtaxed by the British. You could come here and have your firearms. And in fact, right here in Rhode Island was a law. Every man had to have their firearm on them at all times. That was a Minuteman law for a long time. And so it was a sanctuary. Rhode Island was a sanctuary state against the British rule. Then we end up, we had enough at that point. And when they tried to enforce their ways on us, we end up shooting officers, and we sunk the damn Gaspee, which was one of the big military ships right here in Rhode Island. And we didn't just OT off a ship. We sunk a damn ship. We shot people that wanted to violate our rules and everything. Our ways, and which led to the Constitution eventually. And that's why we live in this great country now, but it's under threat. So we're gonna go to a break again, and but when we get back, we got to move on to Cory Booker, presidential candidate, a Democrat, who is just relentlessly wants to attack your Second Amendment. He thinks he's a big shot. I cannot wait till this jackass comes to the state of Rhode Island, because I'm going to confront the son of a bitch. Right? I cannot wait to put this man in his place. I cannot wait. You know what I mean? And it's going to be great. It really is. And that's going to be an awesome video right there. But Cory Booker needs to realize, hey, you ain't going to take jack crap. The guy's talking crap like he's got some muscle, some might, some power behind him. You know what I mean? I'm going to get into that when we get back. The guy's nothing but a big roll of toilet paper, used toilet paper. And I'm being nice here. So, again, when we get back, and again, check out the webpage here, wbob.com, for the Radiothon in 2 weeks. May 18th, Saturday, all day long, in honor of Wildside David Clyde, former talk show host here who lost his life to cancer. I got him into radio years ago, so I'm going to get to the story when I get back. But anyway, this is Dan Bidondi on 990wbob.com. All right, Rhode Island Attorney General seeks to put armed guards at the Attorney General's office. Now, before I get to this, this is total contradiction of this idiot, okay? Former deep state operative Peter Nerona, now Rhode Island's Attorney General, unfortunately, it's disgusting. He wants to have armed guards at the Attorney General's office. What's wrong with that? I don't see nothing wrong with that, but the thing is here, he's one of the people, him and Governor Raimondo, they don't want armed guards at the schools. So, I guess they think in their mind, putting armed guards at the Attorney General's office is more important than securing the schools. I guess whatever's in the Attorney General's office is more important than kids' lives at the schools. Oh, and this is the same guy who's trying to say, hey, we don't want concealed firearm permit people to have a gun 300 feet within the schools. Now, I want to mind you people, too, never in the history of Rhode Island has anyone with a concealed firearms permit has ever caused any ruckus or a crime at a school or committed any kind of mass shooting at all in the history of that. So they want to attack law-abiding citizens, but you can't go 300 feet with, near a school. The bill hasn't passed. They've been trying to go through the back door different ways, but it keeps failing, thank God. So he's one of them that wants to push this, okay? We don't want armed guards at school. We don't want our schools to be prisons or military style like. But, yeah, we want armed guards at the State House. We want armed guards walking around with our politicians. Then, the governor has 24/7 state police guards with her. Not regular security, state police, armed security with her 24/7, no matter where she goes. All that taxpayers' money. And this guy here, Nerona, Peter Nerona, the Attorney General of Rhode Island, wants armed guards at the Attorney General's office. But, we don't want them at the schools because I guess money and documents and everything are more important than kids' lives. That's exactly where they're going with this. I mean, it's disgusting. These people are embarrassment to the state of Rhode Island. It really is. And moving on here before we get into that moron, Booker. In Texas, I mean, they're really taking waves too, like we are here in Rhode Island. They're pushing a bill to let people carry without a permit during disasters overwhelmingly passes the Texas State House. And which Texas is taking offensive, so is in Florida, on gun rights, and it's amazing. And a lot of people thinking of moving down there because of that. And, we should have this nationwide. It shouldn't even be a battle in the damn courthouses or a battle in the state senate or anything. It should be the Constitution is your permit. What part of shall not be infringed on is saying, I can't for the life of me understand where these people get the logic from. That say, hey, well, it's already for your house. So, they don't read the Constitution right, the Bill of Rights there. But anyway, you got this presidential candidate, Cory Booker, wants to require federal licenses for gun owners. So he's going around because he's taking, right now he's coming out full steam in the media. You see that Bernie Sanders did this and he died out, okay? He's coming out full steam now. He's going to die out too, Cory Booker. You're going to see a bunch of these clowns running to hopefully get the Democratic nomination to go against President Trump. And Trump Jr., I got to bring that up later, Trump Jr. Stated that this presidential election is going to be about the Second Amendment. And whoever supports the Second Amendment is going to get the best, is going to, be president. But the other side thinks that whoever attacks the Second Amendment is going to be the president. So you got Cory Booker says he wants to require federal license for all gun owners, reported by Fox News and many other news. Presidential hopeful, well, I'm not hoping for that, but presidential hopeful Senator Cory Booker, he's a Democrat from New Jersey, go figure. He's a Jersey boy. I want to take your guns. Oh, yeah, because New Jersey, strict gun control laws, because New Jersey is such a beautiful utopia, right? They got some of the highest crime and gun rates with guns in the country. But, yeah, you want to take more guns. Stupid. And he wants a national gun owner registry. And we all know by history, registration leads to confiscation. That's exactly where that goes. And it's unconstitutional to have a registry of anything, let alone guns. But presidential candidate Cory Booker is calling for all gun owners to obtain federal firearms licenses. And the national license proposal is one of the 16 that Democrat from New Jersey unveiled on Monday in what his campaign touted as the most sweeping gun violence prevention plan ever put forth as a presidential candidate. And he's proud of this. And Cory Booker, he's just a jackass. A complete jackass. And I hope to God that somehow, some way, this idiot hears what I have to say. I mean, I can't wait to him to come around when he does his campaign stuff, and I'm going to put this guy right in his place politically, And got to let him. Yeah, I wish I could confront the son of a bitch. I really do, and put him in his place. And say, and he's not going to overtalk me. That's for sure. I mean, that's a guarantee. So anyway, these people attacking the NRA as well. Cory Booker says Americans should be thrown in jail if they won't give up their guns, because they were talking about the registration. And they said when if he gets as president, he pushes these draconian gun laws. They want to eliminate every semi-automatic, every what they call military-style assault weapons, and they want to basically you won't own nothing but a single shot or whatever, a revolver, and they'll take them too eventually. So so he says Americans should be thrown in jail if they don't give up their guns. Really? You in what army, scumbag? Seriously, you in what army are going to throw us in jail? And I'm going to get to that in a second, because before the show ends, I'm going to get to a big rant about that, because people need to really let this sink into their heads. I mean, it's coming to that time, folks. Thomas Jefferson said that every generation needs a revolution, and the tree of liberty must be filled with blood from tyrants and patriots from time to time. And it's coming to that time, I'm telling you right now. And unfortunately, I hope to God it doesn't. But I really feel if somehow they take President Trump out, it's going to come to that time when it's going to be say, hey, you know what? We can stop right now, people. End up like Venezuela. Or we're going to stand as men, stand our ground, and defend against anybody. UN troops, doesn't matter. Any forces that come down the streets and say we're taking your guns, we need to stand as Americans and defend ourselves. And if that means all out war, so shall it be. Let there be war in my time now, so our children can live in freedom and peace. Because we will win that war, I'm telling you right now. There's not an army or a force on this planet that can stop the American people. We are the largest army on the planet. And Book is, he's a state senator again for New Jersey. 2020 president's hopeful. He's, again, we should have laws that ban these weapons. These weapons, they say the weapons of mass destruction is retarded. But laws that ban these weapons, and we should have reasonable period in which people can turn their guns in. Right now, we have a nation that allows, in the streets, in communities like mine, these weapons that should not exist. Booker said on CNN, fake news. CNN says this, and he's attacking the Second Amendment. That's the thing, and he wants a registry. He wants we'll give you ample time to buy the guns back. We'll give you ample time to buy the guns back, and we'll buy them back, whatever. And if you don't turn them in, you're gonna get arrested. That you throw it in jail. That's what he's saying. Well, you know what? You got to stop World War III. That's what you got to do, because these people are crazy. And here we go, Senator Cory Booker, Washington Times reporting, I'm going to bring a fight like the NRA has never seen. Threatening the NRA. Now, I want to remind people, because I know people have a limited mind. I deal with them all the time. They think the NRA is the end-all of the Second Amendment argument. The NRA is only about 5%, 6% of American gun owners. That's it. They do a great job. I mean, they preach nothing but strict firearm safety. They lobby, yes, they lobby for gun rights, and it's exercising and protecting the Constitution. They've been doing that for over 100 years. What the hell is so wrong with that? NRA teaches strict firearm safety. Why are you going to demonize that for? Because they say, we lobby for gun rights? And most of us are not even in the NRA. It's not even the point, but they want to attack everything that stands for the Second Amendment and demonize the NRA, which Governor Cuomo in New York is trying to do right now. We're going to get into that in a second. But Senator Cory Booker has promised to bring a fight to the National Rifle Association if he's elected as president. And speaking during a CNN town hall Wednesday meeting, says New Jersey Democrat told a mother who said she was afraid to send her daughter to school, a fear of a mass shooter, that he plans to take on the gun lobby and crack down on gun purchases. And Mr. Book, again, he said, threatening the NRA, threatening anything to do with the Second Amendment. And again, you're going to hear a lot about the Second Amendment, okay, especially with the presidential races heating up, statewide, citywide elections as well. And the Second Amendment is the pinnacle right now of the debates. You're going to hear a lot about the Second Amendment. And you're going to hear both sides going at it back and forth. I mean, this is just the beginning of it, plain and simple. And so, moving on here. I'm using my tablet. Usually I have articles printed out. and I come in with a stack of papers. I'm used to that. I've been doing that for years. So experiment. I'm trying to move on with the new times here to save paper and get into the technological world. But I'm trying to use my tablet here. And so I'm skimming through the articles I saved, and I hope that I put them in the right order, but it's an experiment. So anyway, Trump says the NRA is under siege by Cuomo, and Cuomo is the governor of New York City, after New York AG opens investigation into the gun group. So I'm going to narrate this, basically. Cuomo, because New York, they got one of the biggest budgets, I think it was $16 billion in that budget. Basically, they control a lot of the banks, a lot of insurance companies in New York City. It's a big money market rate in New York City. It's one of the biggest ones in the world. So anyway, Cuomo is threatening the banks, insurance companies, and everything that have any business to do with the NRA, that he's going to really put the stamps down on them if they continue to do business with the NRA. I got a letter from the NRA about them possibly closing. They might be shutting down because they said they need a bank to write checks. They need a bank to do business. You know what I mean? And they've been viciously attacking the NRA every which way for the last year. They've been attacking their, companies that give them discounts and everything. They've been attacking them. So companies have been cutting the ties with the NRA. And they have been just, completely demonizing the NRA, the National Rifle Association. And Cuomo is leading the charge, governor of New York there. And it's relentless what they're doing. And we need to put a stop to that. And people in New York, what the hell? Why are you allowing this stuff to happen? I mean, I could go on forever about the garbage that's going on in New York. You need to overthrow your elected governor. You really do. You need to politically get him the hell out of there. Vote his ass out. But you got a bunch of people in New York that are all like-minded anyway. So I think New York and California, it's safe to say, they are no longer part of this republic. I mean, it's a shame. They, they should be sunk into the ocean and start over again. That's exactly what should happen. And New Jersey molds raising gun permit fees from $27 to $550. So $27 permit fee in here, it's Rhode Island. It's $40, but in New Jersey it's $27, and they want to raise it to $550. So again, they go around other angles, okay, because they know they can't directly attack the Second Amendment mostly. So what they do is they go around the back doors to say, all right, we're going to raise permit fees, we're going to try to tax guns and ammo, which I try to do in here in Rhode Island, and it's all over the country. They're trying to do this stuff, and every time we have a victory, they are constantly attacking it. So, again, in MSNBC, this is funny because MSNBC, they put their foot in their mouth. They really did, because everybody should know what's going on in Venezuela. The people are defenseless. They're going to war with their own government, but the government's got all the guns. And back in 2012, the Venezuelan government, told the people you need to turn your guns in. They were turning them by the millions. The people just turned all their guns in, gave up all their guns. I mean, this is history repeating itself. And now, their own government's shooting and killing their own people. And what are the people doing? Banging pots and pans and throwing rocks. Because they can't defend themselves. And MSNBC here, puts their own foot in their mouth. I love it. Because, even in the worst of the media, inadvertently stumbles upon the truth anyway. So, on April 30th, 2019, MSNBC reported that the socialist government of Venezuela is running over its citizens with armored vehicles amidst protests of the government ongoing tyranny. And MSNBC reporter Kerry Sanders seeking to explain how the government could oppress the population to this extent, invoking disparity of power between government and the people. In doing so, he unwillingly managed to explain why Americans, founding fathers, saw this as a shrine to keep the rights to people's bear arms. To the people's right to keep and bear arms, and within the Bill of Rights. So basically, they were saying, bringing the stuff up, everything they preach against, they're bringing up how important the Second Amendment is, putting their own foot in their mouths, going against everything, their whole narrative. Because the thing is, when they preach these lies, they all know it's lies. MSNBC, CNN, everything they talk about, they all know it's lies. But they do know, a lot of them educated in American history too, so they'll come out with like that, nonchalantly talk about stuff like that, putting their own foot in their mouth. And that's what's going to happen in this country. And people say, oh, it will never happen here. Well, if they said that in Venezuela in 2012, oh, that will never happen here. Our government would never do that. We need common sense gun laws, which is not common sense at all. Let's turn them in. All right, our government, everything's civil here. Let's turn our guns in. Everything will be fine. 2012. Now look what's going on today. They got people with rocks and sticks against tanks and guns. Who's got to win that? You know what I mean? Even the liberal media even admitted that. You know what I mean? So we got a huge turn of events going on all over the place. And the truth is coming out. And anybody who's into the Bible and religious stuff knows that the Bible does say in these times that the truth will be revealed. And that goes beyond everything we're talking about. I mean, it's amazing how the truth is coming out in everything. Everything they demonized Trump with, all the truth came out. Now, I'm not 100%. I'm not a Trump worshiper. I like the guy. I like some of his policies, and I'm going to vote for him. I really am. But all the truth's coming out. All the lies they put against him, all the lies against the Second Amendment, it's all coming out in the open. But we're going to go to break, and this will be our last segment coming up. And once again, while we're at break, go visit the webpage here. And May 18th, 2 weeks from now, huge radio done right here on 990wbob.com for The Wild Side with David Clyde, who lost his life to cancer. A good friend of mine. He was like a brother. I got him into the radio business years back. And, he took off. He was like the next Michael Savage. But God bless his soul, I'll tell you, man. He's a real person, and genuine and everything else. And he told you how it was. It's really good stuff. So we're going to go to a break here, and we'll get back. We got a couple more news things about the Second Amendment. And, we got to put a stop to this onslaught against the Second Amendment. All right, we'll be right back.
You're listening to 990wbob.com, Renegade Radio.
All right, now we move into our quote of the day, brought to you by Rhode Island Shotokan It's RIShotokankarate.com. Traditional martial arts, traditional karate. It's Shotokan, Kempo, and Jiu-Jitsu. It's where I go, and it's a great place. But basically about self-defense here, we got a nice quote of the day here by President John F. Kennedy concerning the Second Amendment. He says, by calling attention to a well-regulated militia, the security of a nation, and the right of each citizen to keep and bear arms, our founding fathers recognized the essential civilian nature of our economy. The Second Amendment still remains an important declaration of our basic civilian-military relationship in which every citizen, that's right, every citizen, must be ready to participate in the defense of his country. For that reason, I believe the Second Amendment will always be important. And that's President John F. Kennedy. So that's for you liberals out there who don't think you should support the Second Amendment. This is coming from a real liberal, John F. Kennedy. So he was a huge supporter of the Second Amendment. He actually went out shooting a lot too. So he not only supported it, but he practiced it as well, because he knew the importance. You know what I mean? So those of you out there, people question all the time, oh, why do you need 30-round magazines? Well, here's why. Because in Houston, Texas, man uses an AK-47 and gets 5 home invaders, killing 3 and injuring 2. Again, Houston, Texas, a man fought for his life against not 1, not 2, but 5 men who broke into his home, and this gun owner was very well prepared, utilizing his AK-47 to defend his home and his life. And the story goes on. This is reported by Concealed Nation and other publications in Houston, Texas, that the mainstream media will never highlight. This is one of hundreds and hundreds of stories a month that go unreported by the national mainstream media. For every one bad incident with a gun, there's about 1,000 good incidents with a gun. So that's why we need magazines that have 30-plus rounds. So again, if people ask these questions, that's why. That's exactly why we need this stuff. And we got, a lot of good things are going on, too. Because here's the thing. sometimes, unfortunately, people need to fall on their faces to realize where they're at, to stop becoming complacent, and get up and take action. For a while, the Republic's been falling asleep, and we got tyrants all over the place here in Rhode Island, too. And unfortunately, it took Rhode Island, and it's kind of a blessing that our Governor Gino Raimondo won re-election, and here's why. Because everybody's been too complacent, just getting kicked over. He's just like one of those people who lick the boots of their oppressors. So people here in Rhode Island got sick of it, and now they're taking action against her. This is going on all over the country, too. They're just sick of the relentless attack on their civil liberties. So people all over the country taking action. So, yes, we got a lot of people attacking the Second Amendment, but also more people defending it. And you got the Tribunist here, talk about middle schools are making gun safety courses mandatory for students. A firearm safety course will be mandatory, part of the curriculum for all students in the 2 rural districts starting this year. Both 7th and 8th grades, junior high graders, will participate in lessons which are being added to the standard students' PE requirements. High school students will also be able to take part, in their participation is voluntary. And it's North Butler Junior Senior High School. And they are going to be having all kinds of courses, firearm safety courses for children. And I also wanted to, if you go to my page, Dan Bidondi on Facebook and all that, I'll give you the links. I don't know her page, but if you look up Daria Bruno, she's one of the best, if not the best, firearms instructor in the state of Rhode Island. She helps people qualify, or if you never shot a gun, she'll work with you. I mean, you go with her, she'll show you the safety, she'll, let you shoot her guns, and she's a license. I mean, she's certified and everything else, instructor. And she also helps parents teach their children firearm safety and brings them shooting as well. You can make it a nice family day. It's great. And also visit Midstate Guns down in Coventry, Rhode Island, at Tioga Avenue. They got the largest indoor shooting range in the state. So if you never shot a gun, you don't have a gun, just go in there. Say, hey, listen, I don't have a gun. I like to learn about guns and how to shoot. They'll welcome you in. It's real cheap. They'll let you shoot their guns with a certified instructor, and they'll show you all the details. And if you want to buy a gun, they'll help you find a gun that suits you and fits you the best. And here in Rhode Island, yes, we all love the Second Amendment, but we also preach strict firearm safety and training as well. I recommend people all the time, if you're going to buy a gun, go get trained for it. You know what I mean? So, and that's why we have one good thing here in Rhode Island, we have the second lowest crime rates with guns in the entire country. Because we have state police who do their jobs very well, law enforcement do their jobs very well, and people here in Rhode Island who own guns highly respect the law, and they respect gun safety as well. But the governor doesn't seem to understand that, because she's a tyrant. And Maryland gun owners vow they will not comply. Gun grabbers and legislators freak out. And this is spreading like wildfire from us, going to the State House by the thousands, telling our lawmakers, you're not taking crap. So this is going on all over the country. It's like spreading like wildfire, man. It's great. And T-Tag got an email from Jeff Hubert, founder of the Maryland-based pro-Second Amendment organization, Patriot Picket. We have been staging We Will Not Comply demonstrations at the Maryland State Capitol all past last week there. All have occupied all the seats in all-day-long hearings on the gun bills. So they all got these cool white shirts that says We Will Not Comply, and they're wearing the yellow vests too. So, just skimming through the article here. So, you can see it. Over 1,000 of these people wearing the We Will Not Comply shirts, testifying all night and day. It's great stuff. And Shannon Watts, this girl, if anybody knows Shannon Watts, she's the head of Moms Demand Action. She comes here to Rhode Island. She goes all over the place, and she's a complete twit. And she goes, she tries to lie on her Twitter. She goes, 100+ gun extremists, not gun rights activists, extremists wearing white, we will not comply, flood the State House. When it wasn't hundreds, it was over 1,000. So that they lie about that. But we're going to run out of time here, so I want to close here why gun control will always fail, historically. And yes, we know there's accidents and everything else, and we know there's bad people guns, but you know what? When you take guns away from good people, there becomes more bad people guns. And those bad people guns become more powerful. And as you can see, every state that has gun control, you're seeing that. People are running around like it's Christmas because who's going to stop them? Cops can't be everywhere. They're shooting cops too. You know what I mean? So people need to get right with the Second Amendment here. Get right with the Constitution. Get right with God. And you get right with the Constitution and know the Constitution. And we need to make, if I was president, I would make civics class mandatory back in schools again. So the kids know and understand the Constitution. So they don't be brainwashed by these far-left progressive morons in the schools. You know what I mean? That dare to call themselves teachers. And the people's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's the number one reason the Second Amendment was created for. This is Thomas Paine. I want to explain this real quick. Thomas Paine and, James Madison, he basically, when he ratified it in 1791, he stated the Second Amendment is, for the number one reason, is to defend ourselves against our own government if they became tyrannical. And also, it's not just, protection, but it's against all tyrants, all enemies, foreign and domestic. And it's the people who are the militia. As he states, who are the militia? The people. Well-regulated means well-organized. It doesn't mean it's run by the state or controlled by the government or the state. No, it's well-organized group of men, Minutemen, that regular citizens, store owners, clerks, whatever, at a moment's notice, they grab their rifles and go get ready to defend their town or their state or, the country in general. That's what it's for. The militia are the people, not the National Guard, not the military, not the police. You, me, all of us. We are part of the militia. And we need to organize that. We need to bring militias back. Start forming groups with your fellow patriots out there. Start training yourselves because, war is coming, folks. And if they want to bring war, we have over 100 million people, gun owners. There's not a force on this planet that has a chance in hell to stop us all. Not a chance now. So let's defend the Republic. God bless every one of you. We'll see you soon, Saturday, May 18th, the Radiothon, right here at 990WBOB.com. This is Dan Bidondi. God bless, and you are the resistance. Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioshow.com.